That's what I like to hear.
Thunderwing, are we going to see those this year?
We have alternate heads. Oftentimes we'll throw the alternate head in the initial mold, and then we don't have to pay for the mold again later on. And we kind of have that in mind for when we do an alternate version of that character. So we like to kind of sprinkle that in to kind of let everybody know that, hey, we have this other guy in mind at some point, and where possible, we'll fit him in.
Yeah, a lot of times we'll use those in exclusives and things like that, so those plans come a little bit later. But I think right now it's not physically in, but we've planned ahead to be able to use it.
Yeah. All right, thank you.
Welcome.
What up, Hasbro?
What up? What up?
I just had two quick questions. First off, good to see you guys. And are Mighty Bugs dead? And with Transformers or any line? And are we going to see the anime line since BotCon is very anime themed? Either returned with more BotCon exclusives or any exclusives Toys R Us or anything like that? Or Generations, maybe?
So I'll cover the animated thing real quick, and then if you want to cover the other one. So one of the reasons why we worked with Brian to do the animated molds this year is that what we try to do is not do the things that we're currently doing, in the main line, also in the BotCon set. So we knew that you guys liked those a lot. So since we weren't doing anything with them currently, we wanted Brian to be able to use those for the set. So if they're popular and they do really well, and Brian and the team thinks that there's more to do, then we can work with him on doing that. I think right now, we still are trying to get those last couple ones out that we've been trying to do. And it's just finding the right place at the right time. And like you saw with Amazon, there might be some new opportunities that come up. So they're still on the radar to do.
Yeah, the Mighty Bugs question. Mighty Bugs, you'll see those as exclusives occasionally, whether it's at a retailer or at a convention. So that's where we're trying to seed Mighty Bugs. What about the Mini Bugs? Well,
thank you.
Maybe.
Hello. My question is, what was the reason for going from a closed fist for holding weapons to an open fist? And did you foresee problems with thumbs, strainings, breaking, and what are you doing to kind of prevent that from happening in the future?
One of the initial ideas was that with a closed fist, we were basically limiting ourselves creatively and artistically in the sculpt. So using the open hand, you can get more expressive gestures with them. But taking into account, the manufacturability of things and the longevity of the plastics, we are constantly trying to take care of these things and improve our products in that regard. We understand that sometimes some things break, but we're doing everything we can to correct that moving forward.
Thanks.
Thank you.
I was wondering if we were going to see a Transformers Animated Season 3 DVD.
Yeah.
We would like to see it too.
I need it for my collection.
I don't think anything's been announced, but it's you've seen that Shout Factory is going back and doing a lot of the archived animation. So we can't make any promises, but it's definitely on our radar of things to get out because we want to complete the collection too. So again, I can't say yes or no at this point, but we want it to be, so we'll figure it out at some point.
Thank you.
Gentlemen, again, thank you for coming here. It's always nice to see these. I was just wondering, with RC coming out in Prime, does that completely negate the fact that we're seeing a Generations RC anytime in the foreseeable future? Because I think that's a perfect line to finally fit her in without it being a animated style or the Prime style. And also the fact that I love the kids as point of view characters in Prime for getting the non-articulated figures. If Voyager Bulkhead does have open doors, could we at some point have articulated figures of the kids, maybe included with future versions or as a BotCon set? Just something with articulation to help maybe to go with the characters and posing in displays than just the standard figures, statuette figures.
Good
Great. That's actually a good question to ask you guys. Do you want to see those the characters, the humans, more articulated?
Yes.
Okay. Well, we'll take that into consideration. Thank you.
Yeah, and the RC question, we definitely have something very cool for the end of the year. Not ready to announce it yet, but it's a great question though, so we'll stay tuned. Thank you, Jim. Thank you.
Stay tuned.
I have two questions. One, in 2009, Hasbro released a certain amount of Jurassic Park toys. I like them, but
Lenny worked on those.
what was the point?
We thought we could make some money on it.
And,
They're dinosaurs, they're awesome.
Millions of kids love dinosaurs.
and my second question is, you say you've been trying to get the animated figures out, but how exactly have you been trying? Because it seems like you're just trying to forget that animated ever happened.
We got some animated figures out last year at Toys R Us that hadn't gotten out, and the way that the retail environment works is that you know, we have assortments, and so if we have a movie assortment out, we can't just put an animated figure in with it. And so when we say we're trying to find ways to get them out, it's about finding the right retail partner that is looking for a certain exclusive that fits their needs. So we can't force that on somebody, it has to kind of happen.
Or the convention here with Brian having the animated figures. He's a great way to get them out. Well done, sir.
Let's release redecos in first lines of toy lines. Like in the 2010 Transformers toy line, you released a lot of redecos that have been warming up the shelves. And all the new molds end up being released in the last line and not released at all in retails.
What? Could you repeat the question? I'm sorry.
Yeah. Unless you release redecos in the first wave from previous lines rather than new molds first.
Oh.
Is there a reason why we do that?
Yeah.
Specifically, are you talking about the Dark of the Moon line, or like
the 2010 Transformers line? Like the Hunt for Decepticon and Reveal Shield and...
So some of those is, you know, part of the way that we have to budget how many tools we can build for a year. We have to budget in having some redecos, and so it's just kind of how we have to figure out the overall budget throughout the whole year. There's no real formula that we have to stick by, but in a lot of cases, you know, based on either reference that we have or how it lays out for the year, sometimes we bring some redecos in at the launch. And that was really, you know, kind of a continuation of the movie line anyway.
Sometimes too, if the toy line, depending on when it's something is activated, if there's enough time to do new tooling, we would prefer to do new tooling first and then do, you know, reissues later. So sometimes that plays into the development process. Timeline plays into that as well.
And I'll jump in. The other thing too is that we're trying to get as many characters out there as possible, as many versions as characters. So, for instance, if we have, you know, development dollars to do 10 new tools, we can either choose to do 10 characters, or we can redeco them all, you know, recharacterize them 3 times and get out 30 characters. So it's just a way to really branch out and get as many versions and characters out there as possible with, you know, the tooling that we have available.
I think your example for the 2010 product line is more of an exception than a rule. Going forward, you know, we always look forward to the best opportunities for, you know, you guys, the fans, and for everybody at retail. So your comment is duly noted, and we'll improve.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
You should release the redecos from previous line at the last wave.
At the end, yes. Thank you.
Thank you. My Little Pony.
Rainbow Dash.
Rainbow Dash.
Yeah.
Gangsta.
So given that you guys have always done some great jobs of having the Transformers lines be very accurate to the movies or shows they're based on,
I was wondering if any of you guys had been working on, or knew people who were working on making some more show-accurate My Little Pony toys, such as Applejack with a show-accurate hat or a white Princess Celeste.
That's a good question for Len, since he's about to marry the designer from My Little Pony.
Len, can you answer that?
Yeah. We will take that back to
highly confidential. You know, I'm bring it back.
Oh, okay, otherwise I'd just like to see more Cheyenne toys. That'd be awesome.
Cool. Awesome.
Hi. First, thanks for giving us awesome toys year after year. It really is a fun toy to be involved with.
Thank you guys for picking them up. Glad you guys are excited about them.
I have two questions. The first one, with the MechTech line, a lot of the plastic is going into the weapons, so the figures in the size class are a little bit smaller than previous lines. When the MechTech line goes away, is that going to be the new standard for the sizes, or are they going to go back to being, you know, a little bit bigger the way they were in the previous lines?
I'll say this, you know, as we approach each line, you know, we look at, obviously sometimes we put the plastic in the weapon, we put it in the figure. There's a whole lot of variables that go into what can happen. You know, obviously, you know, you look at, you know, 20 years ago, what a figure cost and what it is today, and you know, that's the way the economy is. You know, and I think the great thing is that you got a team of designers here, both here and with Tony Takara, that, you know, work very, very hard to get the most awesome value you can. And in my opinion, you go to the toy retail, you know, environment, and I am blown away with the value you get out of a Transformers toy versus most of the stuff out there. And we're going to continue to do the best we can and keeping that going. It's a very fair question. You know, we're working through things every week, you know, as far as costing, what we can afford, and we can put in there, and it will always be part of the process. So it's evolutionary.
Yeah. Thanks. If I may add also to that, too, there's ways to devise a transformation scheme. Take, for example, your generation's Lockdown, or even the animated version of Lockdown, who same amount of plastic goes into making him as any other normal scale deluxe, but the transformation scheme allowed him to be just a lot taller and a lot more physically imposing. So that kind of stuff is also taken into consideration too.
Oh, cool. And then finally, have you guys ever considered, or would you consider doing some sort of subscription service to release some nice redecos or some unreleased toys that are, you know, waiting to get a retailer to jump on, but maybe they can just go direct through people who are willing to pay, you know, for a figure a month?
The guy behind you does release 2 figures a year, but no, you know, I think we've talked about that a little bit, and I think the team's probably going to talk about it a little bit more.
We are starting to do that with the G.I. Joe line.
Oh, hint, nudge, nudge.
So maybe it'll bleed over, I don't know.
You never, it's a great idea, really. So yeah, something like that is very cool. So it's something, as Brian said, when I have a G.I. Joe, it's something that possibly for the future.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So before we wrap this up, I wanted to say from a personal standpoint, the last 6.5 years have been truly awesome. You guys are a ton of fun. You're truly passionate, and you know, I came into Transformers with a little bit of knowledge. I feel like I'm leaving with a little bit more, and I want to thank you very much for accepting me into your world with open arms the way you had, and I'll take the memories that I've had at every BotCon with me, and who knows, maybe I'll be back again sometime. But I wanted to personally thank you guys. I've had a great time, and you're in good hands. The team here is great.
All right, let's give all these guys a great round of applause for all the hard work. Anyway, we got one more. Great, we got one more.
We just want to jump in here. Eric wants to do a little talk too. This is also Eric's last year on the brand, as he's been moving off onto some really cool opportunities within Hasbro. And again, Eric is absolutely huge in the Transformers universe. You know, I've learned a ton from him. And as I continue to learn more about the brand, you know, working with the brand team that's here together now, as well as continually working with Eric, it's going to be a great opportunity. But I just want to say huge thanks to Eric for everything he's done. And Eric, say a few things.
It's hard to follow up on Greg's great words. Yeah, you know, been on this brand for the past 10 years in one way or another, and grown as a person, I've grown immensely as a designer. I've learned from everybody around me. I've learned from you guys, the fans, by interacting with you at the conventions and reading what you guys have to say on all the forums and stuff like that. So stuff like that does matter in the big picture to things. So guys, please keep voicing your opinions, no matter where it is. If you have an opportunity to talk to any of us, we're always going to be listening. Okay? I love you guys. You guys have been great to me. I hope my future on the Star Wars team is just as awesome as everything that I've experienced with you guys. So thank you. God bless.
So be sure to come back tomorrow at time for the IP panel. Archer's going to be holding court. 1 o'clock. And Aaron's going to be taking you through some really cool stuff then. So thanks, guys.
Thank you, guys, for all the great work they do. All right, now, unfortunately, a little bit of housekeeping. Everybody's got to exit while we get ready for the hub because they want to give you something on the way in. So that's why we have to have everybody.